ワールドシリーズ進出をかけた NLCS 第6戦、ドジャース対メッツの双方負けられない一戦ですが、ドジャースがメッツを10対5で下し、見事ワールドシリーズ進出を決めました。ドジャース先発はコペック、メッツ先発は前回登板でドジャースの上位打線を完璧に抑えたマナイア投手で始まりました。初回にメッツに先制されたものの、1回裏に大谷選手のヒットから始まり2点を取り逆転。その後は一度もメッツに追いつかれることなく、最終的に10対5という点差で決着となりました。大谷翔平選手は長打こそなかったものの4打数2安打1打点1四球という結果で勝利に貢献。メッツ戦打投手も7回から登板しましたが、前回登板よりは良かったものの3失点の内容となりました。現地放送でも久しぶりのワールドシリーズ進出と、大谷翔平選手がワールドシリーズでジャッジ選手率いるヤンキースとのワールドシリーズでの対戦の実現に大興奮しておりましたので、今日はその様子を翻訳してお届けいたします。今日は動画を複数投稿する予定ですので、今のうちにお見逃しのないようチャンネル登録をお願いいたします。
Welcome to Access Sportsnet Dodgers. John Hartung, Jerry Hairston Jr., Oral Hershiser with you in the center field plaza. But we're watching the celebration down on the field because you can start spreading the news. The Dodgers are heading to the World Series. They just took out one New York team, and they were about to take on the New York Yankees in the Fall Classic. Their record 25th National League pennants, heading to their 22nd World Series, 13th since moving to Los Angeles, Oral, and we're seeing the guys all smiles down on the field, about to have a heck of a celebration tonight inside that clubhouse.
They outplayed the Mets, they outscored the Mets, they outdefended the Mets, they outpitched the Mets. They won in every category in this series, and it came down to Game 6, but I'm almost glad that they lost Game 5 so these Dodger fans could enjoy this win here in LA.
Yeah, you know what, listen, credit to the Mets. Mets had an incredible postseason run, great second half of the season. They battled this Dodger team hard. Dodgers had to earn their right and punch their ticket to the World Series. But the Dodgers, their talent, the way they executed on both offense, defense, and on the mound was just too much for the Mets. Congrats, Dodger players, Dodgers front office, entire organization, and the Dodger fans who showed out. They were out here 2 hours before first pitch, fired up, so happy for this city.
We just saw Tommy Edman holding up the National League Championship Series MVP trophy. So many heroes, so many stars, and it's become a familiar scene at Dodger Stadium, them taking the team photo after winning a series or winning the division. This is their third in the last 25 days. The Dodgers are the National League champions. We're going to hear from Dave Roberts right now, standing by with David Bassett.
Here he is, the winningest manager in modern baseball history. How does this one feel, Dave?
Oh my God, it feels so good, Dave. I'm just so happy that we finally did it at home.
Yeah.
And we can celebrate with our fans.
How did you navigate this game tonight? It wasn't as much of a blowout as the others.
No, you know what? I got to give credit to all these guys. You know, all these pitchers were ready when called upon. Obviously, Tommy had a big hit. Will Smith, big hit. So the players showed out tonight. And again, David, I'm just so happy for our players and our fans.
Dave, this feels like a 1 through 30 something type of win.
It does. It does. And I'll tell you right now, Dave, it's an organizational win. We get young players through scouting, player development, by way of trade. Everyone is just a whole organization. I couldn't be more excited for everyone.
Tommy Edman kind of went under the radar. How big was he for you in this series?
Oh my God, he's been so huge for us. To be able to play shortstop, to be able to play center field, he does it all, and it gets huge hits. My man Mookie! I love you, baby. I love you, baby. Oh, thank you for everything. Oh, I'm so proud of you, man. One more.
There he is, Mookie Betts with Dave Roberts. You got the love from your players, Dave. I'll let you enjoy. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
There he is, the manager, Dave Roberts.
Well, and Freddie Freeman will have the next 4 days off to try to get that ankle ready to go for Game 1 of the World Series. But, Jerry, he kind of epitomizes the way this whole season has gone for the Dodgers. This has been one bout of adversity after another. Freddie Freeman's gone through it. So many other guys on this team has gone through it. And collectively, they've had to go through it. And here they are yet in the World Series.
Yeah, and picking each other up. Listen, and Dave Bassett said it best. I mean, the inspirational leader. And that's what Freddie Freeman has been this postseason. Obviously, he has been injured. hurting bad, just trying to go there and pick up his teammates. He was able to sit, but the guys were able to pick him up. Max Muncy slides over to first, who's a really good first baseman. Obviously, Kiki Hernandez to third base. But it's that next man up mentality. The pitching staff had to do it. Obviously, the position players, this whole team knows, you know what, no matter what, we have enough to get it done.
Yeah, you know, with this team, and you get it, one injury is a chain reaction, right? This team had to deal with an avalanche of injuries, and that's where the Dodger dogs in that bullpen came through. Our rotation was beat up too, right? You got the 3 starters that they want to run out there, but they knew they were only going to run them out there for maybe 4, maybe 5 innings. If you get an outing like Jack Flaherty and get 7, that is such a godsend. So that bullpen did a yeoman's job, and they're going to have more work ahead of them.
Absolutely.
With the Yankees. But I'll tell you what, I think everybody's up to the task. The key now, like down the stretch, when you know you're going in the playoffs, is keep everybody we have now healthy, please.
Yes.
Because I'm not sure we can take another chain, a link in the chain, have it break.
Well, they're going to have another bullpen game in the World Series, most likely Game 4, because of all those starting pitchers that are out that Oral talked about, Jerry. And I can't imagine the kind of stress Dave Roberts and his staff are going through trying to get through 27 outs and piece it together in these games, because we're sitting here watching the game, trying to analyze it in real time, thinking, okay, how are they going to get 9 more outs? How are they going to get 12 more outs? And he did an incredible job once again to get this to the finish line.
I've said it before. Listen, this is manager Dave Roberts' best season, really managing with all the injuries, navigating throughout the season, but also the postseason. Understanding you got really 3 legitimate starters, and make sure you don't even burn them out. Maybe 4 1/3, 4 innings, and you got to navigate through those wins, but also understand when we're up against the rope a little bit, kind of like in Game 5, you got to be able to navigate that as well so you don't burn out your bullpen to have enough healthy arms for Game 6 and maybe a possible Game 7. Fortunately for us, our offense came through in a big way to make sure we can use our high leverage arms in Game 6. Manager Dave Roberts, Mark Pryor, Josh Barr, the entire coaching staff did an incredible job navigating through the NLCS. But you know what I also like about this? We have enough days off to really set up our rotation, as well as making sure our bullpen is well rested.
This was the perfect series from the offense to protect the pitching staff in a way that if we get into the World Series where our high leverage guys who are a little bit older have to do more work in more crucial situations, they are semi-rested coming out of this series because of the offense. This could have easily been a whole bunch of games at 5-4, 4-3, 2-1. And if it would have been, oh my gosh, the arms would be hanging. And we saw that with the Mets because they don't have the talent and the bullpen arms that we do. But when the Dodger offense breaks out the way they have, and these have been kind of rumbles in the jungle as far as the scores have been, either you're on the wrong side of the rumble or you're winning the 4 games like the Dodgers did in their rumbles. It was fantastic for the bullpen. A negotiation and, you know, the navigation from Dave Roberts and Mark Pryor was great in the front office, but it was the offense that made the equation a lot easier.
Yeah, you look at those 4 wins, Jerry, the Dodgers had in this series. 10 runs, 9 runs, 8 runs. And we talked about it before the series. Because of all the pitching injuries, the offense is going to have to take on a bigger burden than maybe they normally would. And they were more than up to the challenge. Great at-bats all series long. They wore down pitchers and came through with the timely hits.
And that's a key right there. They wore down the pitchers. Listen, it is demoralizing to the pitchers on the mound when you're taking those borderline pitches.
Yeah.
One after the other, 1 through 9 collectively. Now that is an offense attack. And at some point, these pitchers know I got to come across the plate. And our guys are ready for them in a big way, not taking big swings. And if it's not there, they pass the baton, get on base, put pressure on not only the pitchers, but also that defense.
There's 6 walks tonight. I think they tied a record now for a postseason and an NLCS number of walks. So, yeah, they're not chasing. They're going to take their walks. And when you hit it over the plate, they've been hitting it loud and hitting it for a lot of runs. So it has been an offense that has been ready for this postseason since the beginning of September. When you think about getting Max Muncy back, when you think think about adding Tommy Edmonds to the lineup, when you think about Shohei and his run at 50-50, and Freddie Freeman still playing, and Mookie Betts getting hot, it was a fantastic group that became seamless. It became back to that circular lineup where even the bottom of the order could contribute, and that's why we're putting almost up a crooked number in playoff games every game.
Yeah, and listen, and the offensive attack, they mix in the home run, yes, that is cool, but they don't rely on the home run. That is the key. Pass the baton, hit with 2 strikes, go the other way, and make sure you keep the line moving. That's how you win in the postseason. It's been a great offensive barrage by this Dodger team, and they're going to need that to continue in that World Series.
All right, I think they're going to bring us on camera here in the center field plaza so we can see the fans behind us. They've been wanting some airtime as well. We've got championship belts. We've got Hershiser jerseys. I mean, everybody here at the stadium, just electric atmosphere all night long. And by the way, we got a little champagne right here that says National League Champions. Jay here may have gone into the clubhouse, and they donated one for our cause here for the show.
Yeah, well, I wrestled Kike for this bottle. I came away with a couple scratches, but I was able to get it for the set. Don't worry, I'll make sure they
you
get it
got
back.
it from the locker room. Kike was still on the field.
Shohei, you came to the States 6 years ago with the goal of playing the big leagues, but ultimately to play in the World Series. Now that you have that opportunity, what are the emotions that you're feeling to play in the World Series now?
本当やっと来たなというか、ここまでも苦しい試合も多かったですし、全員で本当に掴み取ったそういう素晴らしいゲームが多かったなと思います。
この間こちらです。プレーオフが楽しいという話をされたじゃないですか。例えば頑張った分だけ喜びが大きいっていう言い方があると思うんですけども、何がそこまで楽しくさせているんですか？
まあ単純にここまでプレーできているというか、何回も言ってますけど、ここまでこの10月のこの時期までプレーできるっていうのは本当に一握りのチーム選手たちだと思うので、まあその時点でやっぱり恵まれてるなというか本当に、まあ感謝というか、プレーできていること自体が結果はまあ必ずついてくると思いますけど、良かった悪かったは出てくると思うんですけど、まあ、やれてるということ自体が素晴らしいことだなと思ってます。
例えばじゃあ怖いというのは一切ない？
まあ出た結果に対してはね、それはもちろん受け止めればいいですし、まあそれはそれで自分の、まあ、今後の糧になると思うのでもちろんいい結果を望んでますし、そうなるように努力はしますけど、まずはプレーするということ自体が大事だなと思ってますね。
Go to Dylan, second row.
Obviously, you structured your contract the way you did so the team could be stronger. How glad are you that it resulted in this? Is this kind of what you pictured?
ここを目指してもちろんやってましたし、そうなるように望んでましたけど、まあ楽に来れたわけでもないので、本当に、全員が一生懸命自分のやることをやってここまで来れたので、まあ、あと本当に最後のシリーズ、自分たちの野球を貫き通せれば最高の1年になるんじゃないかなと思ってます。
Dave, after Game 3 of the DS, you guys are down 2-1 with your season on the line. It could get really dark for a lot of teams there, and I remember you saying that you believed in those guys in that room. Might have looked different on the outside, but what do you think they proved to each other over the next 10 days?
I think they proved to themselves how tough they are. I think that when you get in a position that we were in against a division rival, against a very talented team at that point, it turns into a street fight. And it's, lose and go home, or you just fight like heck. And I think that that's what got us over the top in the DS, and also what bled into the fact, allowed us to finish these guys off in six games.
We'll go to Jeff in the middle here, fourth row.
Dave, just what do you think of the trajectory Tommy Edman has been on from not even playing a game till August to being the NLCS MVP here?
It's a crazy trajectory. I can't say enough about the front office being able to acquire him at the deadline. What he can do for us on the field, in the clubhouse, it's just amazing. And I never imagined, once we acquired him, he'd be hitting fourth in a postseason game. But I trust him. The guys trust him. He's made huge defensive plays for us and had huge hits. So I just very, very fortunate to have a player like Tommy.
Go to the third row on the right.
Hey, Dave, I know you're being second guessed on all your decisions all the time, and I'm just wondering how you kind of block out the noise, especially on a daily today where you got to make a bullpen game and every pitching change carries the weight of the world, at least as far as the fans are concerned.
Number one, I don't do social media, so that's the start for me. Number two, I just think that I've got to make decisions, bet on players that I feel, are capable, or put them in the best position to have success, and be willing to live with whatever consequence. And so tonight, this series, this postseason, I've had a lot of clarity, and the players have made me look really good.
Couple more for Doug.
Hey, Dave, with the season Chris Taylor's had, what can you say about him coming in a game like this and delivering?
You know what? I can't say enough about Chris. He's obviously had a tough season as far as the health, the consistency with the bat. But I think it's just one of those things that when you're talking about the postseason, sometimes it just comes down to just betting on a person. And the moment's never going to be too big for him. He's going to be prepared. And he showed out and had some big hits, some big plays, a big sack bunt today, and he's won a lot of big games for us.
And then what's the message moving forward? Is it just 4 more wins?
That's it. Obviously, we're going to celebrate tonight as we should. I think the whole world was looking forward or hoping for this potential matchup, this showdown. It's going to be great. They're a very talented team. But I think for us, it's kind of, one game at a time, but appreciating the fact that we still got, 4 wins to take care of business.
Go to the second row on the left.
Can you just talk about Max Muncy's performance just throughout the CS?
Max has been... He's a postseason player. I think there's a lot said about what Kike does in the postseason, but Max is a guy that throughout his postseasons with us, he finds a different gear as well. He's an on-base machine. He controls the strike zone, and for him to pivot from third base to first base, which he hadn't played in a few years, also speaks to his ability and his talent. And it's not easy to make up for a loss of Freddie Freeman, but Max has been able to help us make that transition a little bit easier.
Take one more here in the third row.
So, Dave, you had a 7-4 ball game. Trinan comes in the 8th. I know they tacked on 3 more in the bottom half to sort of ease the burden a little bit, but had it stayed the same, did you have any backup plans?
That was my only plan right there. So, from the first inning, the first pitch, I had a lot of contingency plans, but at that point, we were going to ride or die with Blake.
All right, thanks, Doc.
And last thing, I just want to congratulate Carlos and the Mets. They've had a tremendous season, and they fought hard, and I just think Carlos does a great job with that club. So, yeah.
Next up for the Dodgers, a World Series as big as they get. Dodgers and New York Yankees meeting in the Fall Classic for the 12th time, but the first time since 1981. Game 1, Friday night, right here at Dodger Stadium. And join us Thursday for World Series Media Day on Sportsnet LA. Oral, these two teams have quite the history going back to the Dodgers days in New York, meeting up in the Fall Classic. This should be epic.
Yeah, if you turn back the clock to 81 and you think about how many MVPs came from the Dodgers, there were 3.
Yep.
That could happen again in this series. That's all the contributions that they're getting from this full roster.
I mentioned earlier, this is a global game. How about 2 historic franchises? The New York Yankees, the Bronx Bombers are back, led by Aaron Judge, Stanton, Soto. And how about the show Dodgers? Outstanding job led by, obviously, the big show, Mookie Betts, Fab Five Freddy. This is going to be epic. I can't wait.
We had a number of Cinderella stories the last few years, Jerry, but it seems like this is a perfect time to have the Dodgers and Yankees on the big stage. Like, baseball needs this matchup to happen, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I think this is going to be record viewership. Once again, the Yankees, historic, iconic franchise. Dodgers, same thing, iconic franchise. 2 best teams in baseball meeting in the World Series.
You're a Dodger fan. You're sitting at home. I just want you to know the garb on this desk. You are not in a dream. It is reality. The Dodgers are National League champions in 2024.
And they will try to bring home that World Series championship and have a parade here in Los Angeles. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you Thursday for World Series Media Day.
大谷選手のドジャース移籍1年目でのワールドシリーズ進出、本当におめでとうございます。この舞台に来たくて、ワールドシリーズで世界一への勝負がしたくてドジャースへ移籍した思いや、去年までのポストシーズンへ進出できない悔しさをにじませた表情などが一気に思い返してしまい、込み上げてくるものがありました。試合後の大谷選手のインタビュー、チームメイトのインタビュー、そして解説者の期待が弾けていましたね。次の動画では祝勝会、選手のインタビューを中心にお届けいたしますので、お楽しみに。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。